The arrival. The vast expanse of space stretched endlessly before Admiral Thacker's command ship, a testament to the Korvax Empire's 300-year reign over 67 star systems. His 6 eyes, each capable of seeing different spectrums of light, gazed upon the tactical display with the confidence of a conqueror who had never known defeat. The massive fleet behind him, 200 warships strong, represented the pinnacle of Korvax engineering, each vessel bristling with plasma cannons and quantum torpedoes that could reduce planets to rubble. Status report on the human colonies. Thacker commanded, his dual vocal cords creating a harmonious rumble that resonated through the bridge. The Admiral's crystalline exoskeleton reflected the blue glow of the command center's displays, making him appear even more imposing to his subordinates. 3 agricultural worlds, Admiral, replied Commander Vex, her tentacles dancing across the holographic interface. Minimal defenses detected. The humans have concentrated their pathetic fleet around their homeworld, leaving these outer territories virtually unprotected. Thacker's mandibles clicked in what passed for amusement among his species. Humans, such primitive creatures with their bilateral symmetry and fragile carbon-based bodies. They had barely achieved faster-than-light travel 50 Earth years ago, while the Korvax had been masters of the stars for millennia. The very idea that these newcomers deserved sovereign territory was laughable. Prepare for standard annexation protocol, Thacker ordered. We'll take their colonies first, then negotiate their surrender from a position of absolute strength. The humans will learn their place in the galactic hierarchy. The bridge erupted with enthusiastic clicking and whistling, the Korvax equivalent of applause. They had done this dance many times before. Younger races always required education in the proper order of things. Some learned quickly, others needed more forceful persuasion. None had ever successfully resisted. As the fleet prepared to enter hyperspace, a junior sensor officer suddenly stiffened at his station. His color-changing skin flickered between yellow and orange, signals of confusion and concern. Admiral, the young officer ventured hesitantly, I'm detecting an unusual signature at the edge of our sensor range. Thacker barely glanced at the display. Clarify, unusual, Lieutenant. It's a single vessel, sir, human design. It just dropped out of hyperspace directly in our path. The bridge fell silent. Every officer turned to stare at the main view screen as the image resolved. There, hanging motionless against the star field, was indeed a human ship, but it wasn't what any of them expected. The vessel looked ancient by any standard. Its hull bore obvious signs of repeated repairs and modifications, a patchwork of different metals and composites that spoke of desperation rather than design. No visible weapon ports adorned its scarred surface. No shield generators hummed with protective energy. It was smaller than even their scout ships, barely 300 meters from bow to stern. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then, Commander Vex began to laugh, a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane. Her amusement spread throughout the bridge like a contagion until the entire command crew was convulsing with mirth. One ship, Vex gasped between fits of laughter. They sent one ancient cargo hauler to face our entire fleet. Have the humans lost their minds? Admiral Thacker allowed himself a slight smile. Perhaps they've come to surrender preemptively. Open a channel. The view screen flickered, and a human face appeared. Female, Thacker noted, with skin the color of rich earth and eyes that seemed to hold strange depths. She wore a simple gray uniform devoid of ornamentation, her dark hair pulled back in a practical style. Behind her, Thacker could see a cramped bridge with perhaps a dozen crew members at various stations. I am Admiral Thacker of the Korvax Empire, he announced, drawing himself up to his full 3-meter height. You are trespassing in space claimed by the Empire. Identify yourself and state your purpose. The human woman's expression remained curiously calm. Captain Maya Rodriguez, commanding the Earth ship Phoenix Rising. I'm here to inform you that any advance toward human space will be considered an act of war. The bridge erupted in fresh laughter. Even Thacker couldn't suppress his amusement. Captain Rodriguez, he said, savoring each word. Are you truly threatening my fleet with that relic? I have 200 warships at my command. You have what appears to be a converted mining vessel held together with welding torches and prayer. Maya's slight smile never wavered. Appearances can be deceiving, Admiral. Indeed. Thacker leaned forward, his 6 eyes focusing intently on the human. Then by all means, enlighten us. How exactly does one ship, your ship, intend to stop the might of the Korvax Empire? Who said anything about stopping you? Maya replied softly. I'm here to give you a choice. The laughter died. Something in the human's tone, a quiet confidence that seemed entirely misplaced, sent ripples of unease through the more perceptive officers. A choice. Thacker's voice dripped with condescension. Turn back now, return to your space, and this ends peacefully. Continue your advance, and... Maya paused, glancing at something off-screen. Well, let's just say humanity has spent the last 3 years preparing for this moment. Preparing. Commander Vex interjected, her tentacles writhing with indignation. You've had spaceflight for barely half a century. We've ruled the stars for 312 years, Maya finished. We know. We've studied you, Admiral. All of you. Your tactics, your technology, your psychology. Did you think we were idle while you conquered world after world? Thacker felt his exoskeleton plates shift, an involuntary response to stress he quickly suppressed. You're bluffing. Am I? Maya touched a control on her command chair. I'm initiating a countdown, Admiral. 60 seconds. When it reaches 0, you'll have your answer. Numbers appeared on the screen. 60, 59, 58. This is absurd, Vex snarled. Admiral. Permission to target their ship. Thacker hesitated. Something felt wrong. The human's confidence defied all logic, yet there she sat, calmly watching numbers count down while 200 warships targeted her vessel. Tactical analysis, he ordered. No weapons detected, the tactical officer reported. No shields. Power signature is strange, Admiral. It's reading almost like background radiation, but structured. 45, 44, 43. You have families, Admiral, Maya said suddenly. Children. Worlds you call home. So do we. The difference is, we've learned something from our history that you apparently haven't. And what's that? Thacker asked, despite himself. That the most dangerous opponent is the one with nothing left to lose and everything to prove. 30, 29, 28. Admiral, the sensor officer's voice cracked with tension. I'm detecting something. Microscopic signatures spreading from their ship. Millions, billions of them, on screen. The display zoomed in, enhancing until individual specks became visible. They moved with purpose, spreading out in perfect formation, too small for weapons to target, too numerous to count. Nanites, the science officer whispered, but that's impossible. The power requirements alone. 15, 14, 13. Humanity sends its regards, Admiral, Maya said quietly. We call this Project Phoenix. 3 years ago, when we realized war was inevitable, we ask ourselves, how does a tiny civilization survive among giants? The answer was simple. We don't fight your strength. We exploit your weakness. All weapons, fire, Thacker roared. The space around the Phoenix Rising erupted with energy weapons and missiles. But the little ship was already moving, not away but forward, directly into the Korvax formation. And as it moved, it shed its disguise like a molting insect. The patches on its hull fell away, revealing sleek armor underneath. The rust was actually adaptive camouflage. The weak power signature exploded into readings that sent every sensor screaming warnings. 5, 4, 3. Admiral. Vex screamed. The nanites. There. 2, 1. The Phoenix Rising opened fire. But it wasn't plasma cannons or quantum torpedoes that emerged from hidden weapon ports. Instead, beams of pure information, compressed data streams that hit Korvax ships and rewrote their very programming. The nanites, already spread throughout the fleet, activated in perfect synchronization. The mighty Korvax 7th Fleet, terror of the Outer Rim, began to shut down. Not destroy. Not damage. Simply stop. One by one, proud warships went dark. Weapons powered down. Engines ceased. Life support switched to minimal function. In seconds, the most powerful armada in local space became 200 drifting hulks. Admiral Thacker stood frozen at his command station, watching his empire's might rendered impotent by a species they had dismissed as primitive. His bridge still had partial power. The humans had been selective, but every offensive system was dead. Maya Rodriguez's face reappeared on the screen. The smile was gone now, replaced by something harder. You wanted to know how one ship could stop your fleet, Admiral. The answer is simple. We didn't stop you. You stopped yourselves. Every system in your ships is now locked under quantum encryption that would take your computers 10,000 years to break. Impossible, Thacker whispered. We're humans, Admiral. We do 6 impossible things before breakfast. It's kind of our specialty. The full weight of defeat settled on Thacker's shoulders. His fleet, his reputation, his empire's expansion, all neutralized by one small ship and the species he had mocked. What are your terms? Maya leaned forward. No terms, just a message. Take your fleet home. Tell your empire that human space is off limits. And remember this day, not as the day you were defeated, but as the day you learned that humanity, when pushed, pushes back harder. She paused, then added, "Oh, and Admiral, the next time someone laughs at our ships, remind them. We learned aerospace engineering from the Wright brothers, nuclear physics from Einstein, and warfare from every conflict we've ever survived. We're quick learners." The screen went dark. Thacker stood in the dim emergency lighting of his powerless command ship, surrounded by the silence of utter defeat. As the Phoenix Rising engaged its hyperdrive and vanished into the cosmic distance, he realized the humans had taught the galaxy a lesson it wouldn't soon forget. The age of human expansion had begun. Retriclaude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. The Reckoning. The Phoenix Rising dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its hull still shimmering with residual energy from the quantum leap. Captain Maya Rodriguez relaxed her grip on the command chair, allowing herself a moment to process what they had just accomplished. Around her, the skeleton crew of 50 specialists maintained their professional composure, but she could see the triumph gleaming in their eyes. "Status report," Maya commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Lieutenant Chen, her chief engineer, looked up from his console with a grin that threatened to split his face. "All systems nominal, Captain. The nanite swarm is returning to containment. Quantum encryption holding steady on all affected Korvax vessels. Communications. Picking up multiple signals from Earth Command," reported Communications Officer Sarah Park. "They want immediate confirmation of mission success." Maya nodded. "Open a secure channel and start preparing the data packet. High Command will want every detail." As her crew busied themselves with their tasks, Maya allowed her thoughts to drift back to the beginning of Project Phoenix. 3 years ago, when long-range scouts first detected the Korvax Empire's expansion toward human space, Earth's united government had faced a terrible choice. They could build a traditional fleet, a process that would take decades and still leave them hopelessly outgunned, or they could do what humans did best, innovate their way out of an impossible situation. The decision had been unanimous. If humanity couldn't match the Korvax in raw firepower, they would fight on a different battlefield altogether. Captain, Dr. James Murphy, the chief scientist behind Project Phoenix, approached her station. His wild gray hair and rumpled lab coat made him look like a stereotype of a mad scientist, but his mind was perhaps the sharpest in human space. The nanites performed even better than our simulations predicted. The Korvax shielding offered no resistance to quantum tunneling. Their overconfidence was their weakness, Maya replied. They never imagined anyone would bypass their defenses entirely. Murphy nodded enthusiastically. 300 years of military dominance made them predictable. Every battle they fought has been about superior firepower and overwhelming force. They've forgotten how to think creatively. Meanwhile, aboard the Korvax flagship Dominant Supremacy, Admiral Thacker stood before an emergency council of his senior officers. The emergency lighting cast strange shadows across their features, making the proud warriors look haunted and uncertain. "Explain to me," Thacker's voice was dangerously quiet, "how a single human vessel neutralized our entire fleet." Chief Engineer Korpex stepped forward, his usually bright blue carapace now a sickly gray with stress. "Admiral, they've done something we thought impossible. The human nanites didn't attack our systems directly. They rewrote them at the quantum level. Every circuit, every processor, every weapon system now operates on encryption protocols we can't even begin to understand. Can we not simply replace the affected components?" "No, sir. The nanites are still present, dormant but waiting. Any new system we install is immediately infected and encrypted. It's like a virus that rewrites reality itself." Commander Vex, who had been uncharacteristically silent, finally spoke. "We've confirmed similar attacks on our supply bases in 3 systems. The humans didn't just target our fleet. They've crippled our entire forward logistics network." The reckoning. The Phoenix Rising dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its hull still shimmering with residual energy from the quantum leap. Captain Maya Rodriguez relaxed her grip on the command chair, allowing herself a moment to process what they had just accomplished. Around her, the skeleton crew of 50 specialists maintained their professional composure, but she could see the triumph gleaming in their eyes. "Status report," Maya commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Lieutenant Chen, her chief engineer, looked up from his console with a grin that threatened to split his face. "All systems nominal, Captain. The nanite swarm is returning to containment. Quantum encryption holding steady on all affected Korvax vessels. Communications. Picking up multiple signals from Earth Command," reported Communications Officer Sarah Park. "They want immediate confirmation of mission success." Maya nodded. "Open a secure channel and start preparing the data packet. High Command will want every detail." As her crew busied themselves with their tasks, Maya allowed her thoughts to drift back to the beginning of Project Phoenix. 3 years ago, when long-range scouts first detected the Korvax Empire's expansion toward human space, Earth's united government had faced a terrible choice. They could build a traditional fleet, a process that would take decades and still leave them hopelessly outgunned, or they could do what humans did best: innovate their way out of an impossible situation. The decision had been unanimous. If humanity couldn't match the Korvax in raw firepower, they would fight on a different battlefield altogether. Captain Dr. James Murphy, the chief scientist behind Project Phoenix, approached her station. His wild gray hair and rumpled lab coat made him look like a stereotype of a mad scientist, but his mind was perhaps the sharpest in human space. "The nanites performed even better than our simulations predicted. The Korvax shielding offered no resistance to quantum tunneling. Their overconfidence was their weakness," Maya replied. "They never imagined anyone would bypass their defenses entirely." Murphy nodded enthusiastically. 300 years of military dominance made them predictable. Every battle they've fought has been about superior firepower and overwhelming force. They'd forgotten how to think creatively. Meanwhile, aboard the Korvax flagship Dominant Supremacy, Admiral Thacker stood before an emergency council of his senior officers. The emergency lighting cast strange shadows across their features, making the proud warriors look haunted and uncertain. "Explain to me," Thacker's voice was dangerously quiet, "how a single human vessel neutralized our entire fleet." Chief Engineer Corpex stepped forward, his usually bright blue carapace now a sickly gray with stress. "Admiral, they've done something we thought impossible. The human nanites didn't attack our systems directly. They rewrote them at the quantum level. Every circuit, every processor, every weapon system now operates on encryption protocols we can't even begin to understand. Can we not simply replace the affected components?" "No, sir. The nanites are still present, dormant but waiting. Any new system we install is immediately infected and encrypted. It's like a virus that rewrites reality itself." Commander Vex, who had been uncharacteristically silent, finally spoke. "We've confirmed similar attacks on our supply bases in 3 systems. The humans didn't just target our fleet. They've crippled our entire forward logistics network." The implications were staggering. Without supplies, without functioning warships, the mighty Korvax 7th Fleet was effectively trapped in deep space, dependent on whatever life support systems the humans had graciously left operational. "There's more," Vex continued reluctantly. "We're receiving reports from home. The humans have broadcast our defeat across all known subspace frequencies. Every species we've subjugated, every rival empire. They all know what happened here." Back on the Phoenix Rising, Maya received an incoming transmission marked with Earth's highest security clearance. The face that appeared on her screen belonged to Admiral Nathan Cooper, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. "Captain Rodriguez," Cooper's weathered face showed a mixture of relief and concern. "Outstanding work, but we're already seeing the consequences of your success. The Korvax Empire is mobilizing everything they have." "Expected, sir, but they'll think twice before underestimating us again." "Perhaps, but we've stirred up a hornet's nest. Intelligence reports massive fleet movements throughout Korvax space. They're pulling ships from every frontier." Maya had anticipated this. "Sir, request permission to execute Phase 2 of Project Phoenix." Cooper's eyebrows rose. "You're certain the crew is ready?" "Phase 2 was always considered a last resort. With respect, Admiral, we passed last resort when they targeted our colonies. The Korvax need to understand that this isn't just about military superiority. It's about sending a message to the entire galaxy." After a long pause, Cooper nodded. "Permission granted, and Captain, make it count." As the connection closed, Maya turned to her bridge crew. These 50 men and women had volunteered for what might well be a suicide mission, knowing that the survival of human colonies, possibly Earth itself, depended on their success. "All hands, this is the captain. Prepare for Phase 2 implementation. Dr. Murphy, bring the Prometheus core online." Deep in the ship's heart, systems that had been dormant since launch began to awaken. The Prometheus core wasn't a weapon in any traditional sense. It was something far more profound and terrifying. "Captain," Murphy's voice held a note of awe. "Core initialization complete. Quantum field generators standing by. Are you absolutely certain about this?" Maya's response was immediate. Humanity spent 3 years reverse engineering Korvax technology, studying their culture, learning their weaknesses. We discovered something crucial. Their entire civilization is built on a foundation of quantum networking. Every ship, every planet, every system is connected through quantum entanglement. They thought it made them stronger. They were wrong. On the main screen, tactical displays showed the positions of not just the disabled Korvax 7th Fleet, but every major Korvax installation within 1,000 light-years. Red dots representing military bases, blue for industrial centers, yellow for population hubs, all connected by glowing lines representing quantum communication channels. "Dr. Murphy," Maya's voice carried the weight of history, "initiate quantum cascade." The Phoenix Rising began to transform. Its hull split apart like a blooming flower, revealing an intricate array of crystalline structures that pulsed with otherworldly energy. The Prometheus core, humanity's greatest achievement and most terrible weapon, reached out across the quantum fabric of space-time itself. Aboard the Dominant Supremacy, alarms suddenly screamed back to life. Admiral Thacker rushed to a functioning console, his six eyes widening in horror at what he saw. "Admiral," Corpex's voice cracked with panic. "The humans, they're accessing the Imperial Quantum Network, but that's impossible. The encryption keys are changed daily and stored in the Imperial core," Thacker finished. "Yes, I know, but somehow they're inside." What Thacker didn't know, couldn't know, was that humanity had played the longest game imaginable. 3 years ago, when first contact seemed inevitable, Earth's scientists had done more than just study Korvax technology. They had planted seeds, microscopic quantum observers, hidden in trade goods and debris, slowly spreading throughout Korvax space. Watching, learning, waiting. The quantum cascade began slowly, like ripples in a cosmic pond. The Phoenix Rising became the epicenter of a transformation that rewrote the fundamental rules of an entire civilization's technology. Every quantum connection in the Korvax network suddenly reversed its polarity. Every encrypted channel opened itself to human oversight. Every defensive system recognized Earth signatures as supreme authority. In the span of heartbeats, the Korvax Empire's greatest strength became its ultimate vulnerability. "Captain," Lieutenant Chen's voice was barely a whisper. "We have complete access. Every ship, every station, every planetary defense grid, they're all responding to our commands." Maya stood slowly, feeling the weight of power no human had ever wielded. With a thought, she could cripple the Korvax Empire permanently. Destroy their ability to wage war. Reduce a 300-year-old civilization to the Stone Age. But that wasn't humanity's way. Open a channel to Admiral Thacker. The Korvax commander appeared on screen, his crystalline features now dull with shock and dawning comprehension. "Admiral," Maya spoke with quiet authority, "I want you to understand what has happened here. Humanity now controls every aspect of your military infrastructure. We could destroy you utterly, but we won't." "Why?" Thacker's voice was hollow. "Because we're not conquerors. We're survivors. And we believe the galaxy is big enough for all of us, if we can learn to coexist." Maya gestured, and displays throughout the Korvax fleet showed images of human history. Wars fought and won. Civilizations that rose and fell. But also moments of unity, cooperation, breakthrough. "Your empire has ruled through fear for 3 centuries, Maya continued. "It ends today. Not because we're destroying you, but because we're offering you something better. Partnership. Equals working together to explore the galaxy, not subjugate it. And if we refuse, then you'll find every military asset you possess permanently locked down. Your empire will continue, but as a purely civilian civilization. The choice is yours." For long moments, Thacker said nothing. Then, slowly, his 6 eyes closed in what might have been resignation or relief. "What are your terms?" "Simple. The Korvax Empire acknowledges Earth and all human colonies as sovereign territory. You withdraw all military assets from within 50 light-years of human space. In return, we release your systems and offer technological exchange programs. Together, we can achieve far more than either of us could alone. You would trust us after we tried to destroy you." Maya smiled. "Trust is earned, Admiral. But someone has to take the first step. Humanity offers our hand in friendship. Will you take it?" The bridge of the dominant supremacy fell silent. Then, with a gesture that would reshape galactic politics forever, Admiral Thacker extended his primary appendage in what humans would recognize as acceptance. "On behalf of the Korvax Empire, we accept your terms." As word spread throughout the galaxy, reactions varied wildly. Some species celebrated the humbling of their oppressor. Others worried about humanity's newfound power. But all understood one fundamental truth: the balance of power had shifted irrevocably. In the following months, the galaxy watched in amazement as humanity kept its word. Korvax systems were restored. Technology flowed freely between former enemies. The feared 7th Fleet was transformed into an exploration armada, with human and Korvax crews working side by side. The phoenix rising became a symbol, not of human dominance, but of humanity's unique approach to conflict resolution. When pushed, humans pushed back harder. But when victorious, they offered partnership instead of domination. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of Earth Station Prime, watching Korvax and human ships depart together on the first joint exploration mission to the galactic core. Admiral Thacker stood beside her, an unlikely friendship forged in the crucible of near war. "You know," Thacker mused, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into perfect English, "when we first detected your species, we dismissed you as primitive. We laughed at your technology, your ships, your audacity in claiming space among the stars. And now," Maya asked, "now I understand the human saying, 'He who laughs last, laughs best.' You didn't just defeat us, Captain. You transformed us. The galaxy will never be the same." Maya nodded, her eyes fixed on the stars. "That's the thing about humanity, Admiral. We don't just adapt to the universe. We help the universe adapt to us. And sometimes that means teaching it how to laugh with us, not at us." As the joint fleet disappeared into hyperspace, the message was clear to all who would threaten human space. Earth's children had taken their place among the stars. Not through conquest, but through the uniquely human combination of ingenuity, determination, and the wild audacity to turn certain defeat into impossible victory. The age of human expansion hadn't just begun. It had redefined what expansion meant. And throughout the galaxy, no one was laughing at humanity anymore.